To start this evening, we will be having a Q&A session with some of our very own leaders and our ArcWatts, Cameron and Lindsay. So to start this evening, we are having the Q&A session.
And then afterwards, we're going to have some trivia where you can learn about the school and the program.
And we will also be having a very special orientation coffee house where you'll get to see some of the talents of your leaders, your ArcWatts, and some of your peers as well.
And then at the end, you're going to break off into different game rooms, and you can choose whichever game room you'd like to go into.
Before we begin this event, we wanted to share with you how you all responded to the Would You Rather quiz we sent to you shortly before this event.
And so here's a little graphic showing all the answers. So go ahead and take a look. And so the first one is
the idea of whether you'd like to be a reverse centaur or a reverse mermaid. As a whole, your class chose a reverse centaur.
Next one is traditional art or digital art, and the majority of your class chose traditional art.
The next one was the idea of only being able to know someone's personality or only being able to know someone's name. Your class chose personality over name.
The next one is live in Haidar Aliyev with 12 cats and drink only bubble tea, or live in Habitat 67 with 14 turtles and only chicken nuggets. And most of you chose the Haidar Aliyev with 12 cats.
And as to choosing between a brutalist or gothic style, your class seemed to be in a toss-up, so I guess that one's up to you. Without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, so to start off, we're gonna do a Q&A, and we have a panel of leaders. And so right now we'd like to take a moment just to introduce the leaders who are on the panel and to say one thing that they wish they knew coming into the program.
So first off, we have Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. And something that I wish I knew coming into the program was probably that it's more about what you're learning and it doesn't just boil down to one number.
Thank you so much. Next we have Grace.
Hi, I'm Grace. Something I wish I knew, or like a tip would be, I didn't expect all the like upper years or the masters to be super friendly, and we're all very close, so you can always ask them for help, and especially like just the year above you, you can ask them about like specific assignments because they all have very similar things, and then you can ask like, oh, I'm really confused about this, and then they can literally tell you about that specific assignment because it's usually like the same one. Yeah.
Thank you. Next we have Joelle.
Hi, my name is Joel. One tips that I hope I had is all-nighters aren't fun. I know like a lot of Instagram page like talked about architecture student like going all-nighters, and it seems like a really cool stereotype, but like if you plan your stuff accordingly, like I don't think you need all-nighters to be successful in the term. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next we have Jason.
Hi guys. So one thing I wish I would have known going to first year is that you're so much less productive during all-nighters. So make sure don't work late at night when you're really sleepy because you might have an accident like cut yourself with a cutting knife. So make sure to plan your time accordingly and work during the day and actually sleep at night.
Thank you so much. Next we have Clay.
Hey guys, my name is Clay, and I gotta say that for me, the biggest tip I could have first year was no matter on a lot of projects, you're gonna get stumped. And whenever things happen, you know, you have a mind block and you can't really sort anything out, just take a break, go do something else, then come back and everything will go so much smoother.
That's an awesome tip. And last but not least, we have Cameron.
Hello guys. One thing that I wish I knew was that profs could sometimes give harsh or seemingly judgmental feedback, but everything they say is to help you and to help you become a better architect. And you just need to remember that no matter what, they have your best interest in mind. And yeah, they're here to support you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron.
All right, so now we're going to move on to some of the questions we got. The first question is, what are some good websites for inspiration? So if one of the panel members has an answer, just raise your hand and then we'll call out someone's name. Clay?
Definitely check out Pinterest. It has all like a lot of ideas that you'll definitely want to find. That's definitely my go-to.
Cameron?
So for me, I really love Instagram, and there's a lot of like really great things you can see on there. For example, like on your explore page, you can select what kinds of feed you want to have. So sometimes it can be comedy or fashion, and there's actually an option for architecture. And you can get a lot of inspiration through that, or for following some of your favorite architecture firms or magazines. Like personally, I really like Dezeen or Azure. Those are great ones for inspiration.
Thanks. Oh, Grace?
Very common one is ArcDaily, I feel like. It has pretty like complete information, so it has like usually has like images from all different angles, and there's a lot of filters you can use when you're searching. For other like inspiration, just like design or art, interesting projects, I like to go on this website called the Colosso. It has it has very interesting stuff. Yeah.
Thanks, Grace.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So for our next question, we have, how many hours of sleep can I expect to get in this program? Please raise your hand if you have an answer to our panel. Joelle?
Well, I mean, you should always like get like the right amount of sleep, which is I think it's like 8 to 9 hours every day. Yeah, I think the person who asked this question is probably thought like there would be a lot of homework and workload that will make you sleep a lot less. But I think from experience, I didn't have really good time management at the beginning, and I was forced to give up some sleep. But then as the term go by, I realized it's just my poor time management at the beginning. And then with some seminar the school provided, it gets better how you organize your time in one project, and then you will get more sleep eventually. Yeah. We'll always aim to do your best at the beginning.
Awesome. Thank you. Jason?
So definitely, even though studio hours are so long, this time is given to you so that you can work on your project and not like chat with your friends and do other stuff. So definitely use your studio time so then you can have your night to sleep. So I would say for me, I got around 9 to 10 hours a day. So just with good time management, it's really important.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the next question is, are there any sports I can get involved in on campus once we return to school? Joelle?
Last year, from my experience, there's quite a lot of sports you can get involved. Personally, I was we have some intramural teams, and we have some casual, just weekly kind of like sports night. We have volleyball, we have I think handball at a time, and then we also have some basketball tournament organized by WASA throughout the term. And not to flex, but me and Clay won third, I think. So it's pretty fun. You don't have to be super good to get involved in sports stuff in the campus. So I'll say don't worry about stuff. Even though we are not in main campus, we still get a lot of activities.
Thanks, Joelle. Oh, Cameron?
Yeah, there's also a few like things around like Cambridge that we do and that are just organized kind of by the students. We do have like intramural soccer that you could join. People like to do frisbee, and then I'm pretty sure every now and again we rent like a gym somewhere and we play dodgeball, which is very fun.
Awesome. So for our next question, we have, is it possible to commute to the main campus on a regular basis? Jason?
So if you were going to take public transit, the GRT, it takes around an hour and a half by bus to go to main campus. It definitely takes a lot of your time because an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, it's like 3 hours. And you do have studio to work on, but definitely if you have the weekend free, you're able to go to main campus.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, Cameron?
Yeah, one thing to add is that there's always people commuting back and forth. Like there's a lot of people who have like cars, for example. So you can always send a message in the Waterloo Architecture like Facebook group, and you could just be like, hey, like I'm trying to go to main campus on this day. Is anyone going? Or I'm trying to get to Toronto. And you can definitely carpool and people will respond to your messages for sure.
Perfect. Great point.
Okay, so the next, oh, is someone still raising their hand?
Yeah, just to add on, it's like to what Cameron just said, I think there's a group specifically for carpool from Waterloo to Toronto, or sometimes they pass by Cambridge so they can pick you up too. So other than the Waterloo Architecture student group, there's also the other one. Yeah, just that.
Thanks, Joelle. All right, so the next question is the program stressful? Grace?
I think it depends on yourself and kind of case by case, but generally, it is kind of stressful, but university generally is a little more stressful than high school. But also, it's very, very rewarding, and everyone's working just as hard, and it feels really nice. It's not just like pure stress and doesn't feel good after. It's all like you're working together, and you feel that you're working very hard, and it's kind of, yeah, it feels pretty good. It's not like pure stress. It's nice, but it's not as stressful as you think.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Grace. That was a great answer. Cameron?
If you are feeling stressed, there's a lot of resources for you on our campus, on our main campus. We do have time management workshops every so often. If you're needing help with time management, that can help you reduce your stress. We also have guidance counselors on campus, which has been helpful. But there's a lot of resources for you. And if you ever need help finding those, you can reach out to us or to Donna. Everyone's willing to help.
And I think I saw Lindsay and Clay raise their hand. I'm not sure though. I can't see it anymore.
I was raising my hand to also mention that we have like architecture specific guidance counselors twice a week, and that they're very cool. So reach out to them. Not even just if you're stressed for like anything, they're there too.
Thanks, Lindsay. And Clay, did you have something to add or?
Not really, but I think I guess I'll just say something. But I think it's really dependent on you, and if you can really manage your time, then things really don't have to be stressful. So as long as you really focus on what's important and get your school sort of really organized out, I guess, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, thanks, Clay.
Awesome. So for our next question, we have, do you have to work on schoolwork during the reading week? Joelle?
I mean, if you're organized, then you don't have to, I think. And personally, I didn't. I did in one of my reading week, and I did in the other one. So I don't think it's like a question that everyone will have the same answer. But even if you're not working on your schoolwork during reading week, you can do some readings, like extra readings. It's called reading week for a reason. It's to get us to prepare for the future term, kind of like a little break, but not completely for you to party and stuff.
Awesome, thank you. Audrey, did you have something to add? We have another leader that wanted
Hi,
to.
it's actually Ben. Hello? Okay, so basically what I think about reading week is that I think it's right, like Joel hit it right on the head, where reading week is supposed to be in preparation. So I don't see it as you have to entirely dedicate the entirety of reading week to doing all these projects and whatnot. But I do find myself having a little spare time here and there where I'm just, at home. I'm not really doing anything else, so I might as well dedicate it to some time where I can prepare myself either in studying or doing the projects that have, a deadline that I know of. But, just keep those two things in mind and try to balance out what you do during reading week so you're not completely lost back to school. So that's usually something good.
Awesome, thank you so much. And for our next question, we have, what books will we be having for ARC 192 and ARC 120? Lindsay.
At the beginning of every semester, at your first class, you will receive your syllabus, and that'll have your list of books. Sometimes Donna or your professors will send out your books early, so you can look out for emails from them, but otherwise they will be in your syllabus on the first day of class.
Awesome, thank you so much. And we have two last questions. First, we have, be honest. How busy does school get? Clay?
Yeah, I think we've answered that a number of times, but once again, it's just about how you are and how good your time management is, and that's how busy school's gonna get. Other than that, just expect, when you're in classes, if you really work, if you put in the time when you're supposed to be in class, when you're supposed to be working, if you put in that time, and maybe your prof gives you like a little bit of other work to do, you do your work. It shouldn't have to take that much. But if you just procrastinate, then things do get very busy.
Great answer. Thank you so much, Clay. And I think I'll try to do this in order. I think we had Cameron next.
In terms of like workload, there's been a slight change since it's become online. Something that my class noticed with this like last term was that it's more smaller things on a weekly basis now rather than like a big project like every month per se. In some cases, it's really nice because you can choose what day a week you want to do it. But there is a requirement every week. There's a chance they've changed this for your term. I am unsure, but I definitely think it's manageable. And in addition to that, if your class as a whole decides, what, there's so much work, like this is impossible, we can't do this. In the first few weeks of school, you'll elect a like class representative who can reach out to professors and be like, listen, this is how our class is feeling. Can we try and change this or come up with some sort of compromise, which is really helpful, and profs are very understanding.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron. I think Lindsay had something to add as well.
Yes. I think everything Clay and Cameron said were totally on the head. And Clay mentioned that you should, when it's class time, you should be attending class time. And I think that's really important because what you'll notice is like, it's a busy week. You have classes during a lot of the daytime during the week, but as long as you like attend class, especially because it's online, like try not to leave it until way later. If you're watching asynchronously, set up like a schedule for yourself about when you're going to do all of that. And so that'll really keep you on track and keep you from getting behind in your classes.
Awesome, thank you. And Joel, did you have something to add?
Yeah, just to add on to what Clay said, it's just from my experience, it's like when I'm in high school, I thought like handing stuff late, it's pretty cool. And then when I go to university, it's just not cool anymore. And no one would do it with you. So just don't hand in stuff late, hand stuff on time. That's what the cool kids do in university. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Joel. And for our final question of this Q&A portion, we have, what are your tips and tricks on maintaining an active lifestyle while doing school and being weighted down by deadlines? Lindsay?
I can't speak to this as well as maybe others could because I'm not super athletically involved at the school. But one thing is that, as we've mentioned, there are lots of like sports clubs or like recreational clubs at the school that are cool to be involved in. There's also like Crunch Fitness. We have a gym at the school if the gym is more your thing. But it's important to acknowledge that like taking breaks while you're working, and especially like being active, is going to make your work better. So if you want to build that into your schedule, if you're like, I just had an 8-hour day of studio and now I'm going to dance around my room for 20 minutes, you know, to get your heart pumping, to get those happy vibes. And really, it'll staying active. You can try to work that into your schedule in order to feel good and be more productive.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Clay, I saw your hand up before. Did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think Lindsay basically covered that all. But I think personally for me, you know, after a busy day or even whenever I have a mind block, like the school gym is actually right there, and there's actually lots of stuff in there. So it's really nice to just be able to, you know, you can hop out of studio, you can be in the gym in a couple minutes, and you can just, you know, get a good workout, get a quick run in or anything to, you know, just take your mind off, get some exercise for as however long you want and get right back to studio without losing any time. So it's very easy and accessible to do that. And I also personally, it's whatever you really make a point of making time for is what can fit in your schedule. If you really don't make a point of, you know, like this is what I want to do, then it's never really going to happen. But if you want to do that, it definitely can happen. And that's totally something that can be done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Clay. And Cameron, any last points to add?
Yeah, I mean, especially since we're online right now, there are a lot of advantages to that. So say you want to like get your physical activity in for the day, you can, you know, set your computer on a desk, and then instead of sitting on a chair, you just do a wall sit, and then you're killing two birds with one stone. There's so many like fun solutions. You know, I could be doing curls right now. You can barely see it in the camera. You know what? There's a lot of solutions for you guys.
That's awesome, Cameron. Thank you so much to our leaders for answering the questions.
I think those are all the questions we have for today. But if you guys think of any other questions, you're welcome to stay in this channel. And then Noah and I will stay behind after the coffee house. And you guys can ask any questions and we'll be here to answer.
Awesome. And now on to some trivia. And after expending all of that brain power, We encourage you to now sit back, relax, and enjoy the talented stylings of your peers, some of our leaders, and our ARCWATs, Lindsay and Cameron, as we present to you the O-Week Coffee House. Woo! All right, so first up, we have welcome to our stage one of our ARCWATs, Cameron. Cameron loves to smash raspberries at the top of her mouth, and we hope her tutorial on Loom calls will smash your expectations.
Hey guys, so for my talent, I'm going to be teaching everybody how to loom call. So to loom call, it'll sound a little bit like this. So to do this, it's very simple. You're going to take your two hands and you're going to cup them like this. So you're going to put your fingers against the edge here like this, and then you're going to close it like this. And you want to try and capture as much air in this box as possible, but make sure there's no holes. Then you're going to have your thumbs like this, and you want to see a little bit of a split right there, and your mouth is going to go on the knuckles. So you're going to blow down into it, and then there should be a little bit of space down here so air can go in and come back and hit you in the chin. If you want to make different sounds, you can move your hands like this. I actually had a teacher who actually could play songs using the loom call. I am not that skilled, but we'll give it a try. I'm gonna play Baba Black Sheep. I think that was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But you know what? I tried. It's the thought that counts. Thank you all for watching me play and talk to loons. And I hope you guys try it out yourself. Bye. Bye.
That was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Next up, performing, we have our wonderful Watt, Lindsay. A fun fact about her is that she has incredibly vivid dreams, which I think is already a pretty cool talent to have. Today, though, she's going to be sharing her musical talents, and she's going to be performing a piano piece.
Hi, I call this a list of songs that make me think of my youth.
That was incredible. Oh my gosh.
Thank you for making us all cry. Oh my goodness, my heart.
Thank you for your kind words, y'all.
Next up, we welcome a wonderfully and incredibly talented leader, Grace. Grace is a wonder not only at her architectural graphics and innovative models, but also at decorating cakes. Today, Grace will show us yet another talent in her incredibly aesthetic painting video. Woo! Great job.
I
That
love
was so satisfying.
Next up, we have. Oh,
Sorry.
Next up, we have our next talented performer, who is not only an amazing dancer, but also someone who has explored the world and has traveled around half of the world already. Her act is probably going to make you want to get out of your seat and dance yourself. So without further ado, welcome from 1A, Samya, performing an Indian dance routine. That was so good. Oh my gosh.
That was fantastic. I really did want to get up and dance. Our next talented performer is someone with a fantastic musical talent, Amy. From 1A, Amy is multifaceted and extremely adventurous. She once almost broke her rib while snowboarding. And on this virtual stage, a piano song.
my gosh, I literally got goosebumps.
That was fantastic.
I
Literally
saw
got
Noah
goosebumps.
crying.
That was fantastic.
Alright, and last but not least, we have a plant lover who currently has 16 plants in his room as we speak. Today, he will share his passion for dance by performing one of his favorite ballet routines. He is someone who can put a smile on anyone's face. And of course, this is no other than Noah, our huge. That's incredible. Those are all our acts for today. That was absolutely like.
Yeah, a round of applause for
incredible
everybody. I think everyone had a fantastic time.
All right. So.
Bye. And thank you for joining us.